Did you know that most of the LGBTQ plus community under 40 has savings of less than $10,000? We can help you change that.
Rainbows to Riches.
Welcome back to Rainbows to Riches, guys, a podcast on personal finance tailored but not limited to the LGBTQ plus community. I'm Rayleigh Wells, and until recently, I had absolutely no financial guidance. Until I met Drew and Michael. They not only became my financial mentors, but big friends that I love so much. So thank you, guys.
Again, we're big friends.
Big
friend. Is that a fat joke? I'm Drew. I've run a number of different businesses over many years, have also invested in real estate, buying, selling, and renting out both commercial and residential properties.
My name is Michael. I'm Drew's husband of about 25 years. When I met him, I had just come through bankruptcy, and with his help, I was able to get myself on my feet financially, buy a house, open a business, and now we're looking at a comfortable retirement.
To those of you who just got here, guys, the idea of this podcast came when I graduated college and I met these beautiful men who started to help me with my finances in terms of budgeting and etc. And I was like, why not create a podcast to create a community where we can safely talk about this and change the world a little bit. And today's episode is about
Budgeting.
Period. Budgeting. We so much love this word. Many of us don't even understand what it means. So shall we start just like, I feel like some people don't know what budget means. Just the meaning of budget.
But budgeting means writing down your income and your expenses so that you know where you are financially.
It's a to-do list for money, basically.
Yeah. And once you know where you are, you can then begin to set your financial goals.
One of the things that I like about keeping a budget, it helps me feel motivated to the future. I have a budget on my computer, and I keep track of all the numbers, both for my business and personally, as well as the household. And I have a little bit of OCD that I am constantly doing projections and budgeting and how much am I averaging in the last 5 years on travel and how much am I averaging on clothing, and if I spend this much money on clothing this much, how much will I have left for the rest of the year? It's a little nutty, but I enjoy it. So.
You budget.
I'm a budgeter.
And if he's missing $12, boy,
Oh
let me
my
tell you.
goodness. I like
we don't go
I
to
like
sleep.
it to balance to the cent.
He is up there.
Yes, absolutely.
So
When you've had your life out of control financially, and then you learn how to have it in control, it becomes a bit of a obsession to make sure it stays there.
that's where we want to get you guys to be. But let's start from the beginning. A question that I have is that you say that checking your budget daily or weekly or whatever, however it works for you, it motivates you. Can you give me an example of how, like, when you realize, oh, this is motivating me?
Well, what happens to me, because I work in an industry that kind of ebbs and flows, my hair salon is generally successful, but we go through our slow periods.
You also don't have like a paycheck, right? Because you're an entrepreneur. So
Well, I take a salary. I take a weekly salary,
He's an
the
employee
same.
of his own company.
Oh.
So yeah, there's a company called my salon, and then there's Michael, who is working for that company. So I take the same amount every week, and depending on how much money comes in, it can vary my profit margin. And there are times where it's slow, and I start to panic. But if I can look at my records and look at the fact that over the last 6 months, my average is here, even though this particular week is low, it reassures me that, this is the exception. It's not the general rule. If I'm down 2 weeks in a row, though, I'm ready to jump off a cliff. Get 3 weeks in a row, and I have to be hospitalized. And he knows it. He's like, Michael, it always balances out. And then I'll do like a month's worth of business in 1 week, because that's just the nature of the business. So for me, budgeting gets me through those highs and lows, and it also reassures me that I am on track.
Do you have an advice for those, including myself, who have a certain anxiety to even start looking at the numbers? Because a lot of people want to start a budget. A lot of people want to start fixing their financial life, but just the thought, but they procrastinate the action of looking at the numbers. Do you have any advice?
Well, I have a friend who worked as a massage therapist, and he was always broke. And I asked him to work on a budget. I asked him, how many massages do you do in a week? And he was not able to tell me. I said, okay, do you do one every day? Well, most days, but some days I do more than one. I said, okay, so you do 10. It was so weird because the more I tried to pin him down, the less comfortable he was. So I think for some people, that's not about money. That's about looking at their own lives objectively. If you have a difficult time keeping records, you're going to have a difficult time saving money. If you can't be objective and say, okay, I just spent X number of dollars on coffee, and then I got gas in my car, and then I paid my rent, and add those numbers up, you're never going to be able to keep yourself on a track that's going to earn wealth.
And it's like anything else. The answer to your question is get over it.
Yeah, right.
Get over it.
It's just,
Period.
there are lots of
Grow up.
things you do in life that you don't want to do.
Right.
You get up at 7 in the morning to go to work. A lot of people don't want to. Too bad. That's your job.
You just gotta.
There are also, I don't know any specific, but I do know they have support groups for people who are trying to get themselves on budget, like young people who want to understand finances such as this. There are groups of people that are investment groups. And I think there are people, there's a 12-step program called Debtors Anonymous, which is way
You're giving
over
me
there.
so many ideas right now.
But what they do is they have, I think they have like partners, so that each of the partners has to be financially responsible to the other one, saying, this is how much money I spent today. This is how much I'm planning to spend tomorrow. And it's like a partnership to keep people honest and on track, because you know, when you do things secretly, you can get away with stuff. But when you know you're being held accountable.
An accountability group.
That's
saying.
exactly. That's a good word for it, yes.
Future plans, Richie's. Future plans. Well, I kind of already do that with you, but like maybe I would do it. I don't know, more.
Yeah.
If we could, the three of us.
I mean, financial
start and-
security is great when you have a team of people who are all moving in the same direction.
Exactly.
Investment groups, etc.
Just out of curiosity, guys, comment down below if you would be interested in being part of this accountability community. Just out of curiosity.
a good idea.
Yeah.
Yes, we have so much free time.
Yeah. We're, we have nothing.
Only when the salon is slow.
Yeah, right.
We're rich, successful. We got time. Anyways, moving on.
The next step is you need to create a budget. It's a very simple document. We will attach one
Here down below.
down below on this podcast, which simply lists your net income, which is the amount of money you come home with every week, and on one side, and on the other side, your needs, your wants, and your savings or investment. We are a firm believer in the 50-20-30 budget. 50% of your income or 50% of your expenses are for needs, things you absolutely have to have.
Expenses that are needs.
Yeah, that are needs. You can't get away without paying for your rent or your
Rent.
car, your insurance or whatever else that is an absolute need. Your
Groceries.
phone. Yeah, exactly. That's 50%. You then, with a little luck, can take 20% out for your expenses for savings and investment. If you can't, and you really can't, not just because you don't feel like it, but you really can't, maybe you try for 10%. But I don't know anybody who can't, in a pinch, take away 10% as if they were earning 10% less.
You're assuming that people are earning enough money to live on. There are people who do not cover their expenses, and they're living in a negative cash flow.
Well, then
that's a different situation.
They have to
Suck it up.
No, they don't have to suck it up. They have to take steps.
Get over
They
it.
have to take steps to change it.
Well, I guess like right now we're communicating with people who are in the phase that they can maybe do 10%.
Hopefully.
If
Yeah,
we
can do
respect that.
10%,
So
right.
they would have to work. They would have to create a path to at least be able to start with the 10%.
So right. So you have 50% of your expenses are needs. Your 10%, let's say, are for investing and savings, which we'll discuss how you do that and where you invest and save your money. And the balance are for your wants, whether it's 30 or in this case 40%, things that you'd really like to have, like going out to dinner and going to the movies and going on vacation and the like.
That's my favorite part of budgeting, to be honest.
It's everybody's favorite part, but you have to have your 50% for needs and 10% at least, if not 20, for investing, and then you can have your favorite part.
But I list them differently. I list savings. I list them by priority. Savings, wants, and bills. Because the bills are going to get paid anyways.
Not if you go out to dinner every
Yeah, no,
night
you-
and take
you
a
have-
vacation.
No, it's just a matter of like writing in the paper. It just makes me feel better when I write savings, wants, and expense.
Okay, so please don't listen to her.
Don't listen.
Just writing, guys.
That-
It doesn't.
it's
It,
just
it's
writing.
just. It just makes me.
You have to
pay
get it-
yourself first. I am important. The bills are important after me, but obviously they have to get paid before my wants.
One of the formulas that I heard years ago, and I always still hold on to, is when you're budgeting for the future and you want to know how much you can afford for rent or a mortgage or whatever, 25% of your income theoretically should go towards your housing. Now, in today's market, sometimes it's like a third, but a quarter of your income. In other words, if you have a paycheck of $1,000 a week, you're theoretically able to pay $1,000 a month in rent. It was a formula that I used when I was very young, and it always kept me, when I looked at an apartment, I said, is that rent equal to my weekly pay? Most people have to pay more than that, but that's a really good rule of thumb when you're trying to budget.
But that's exactly what I heard when I first moved to America, and they're like, your rent, your salary, your weekly salary should be no less than your rent. For you.
Should be
Yeah.
at least as much as
Right.
1 week.
I mean, if you can get rent for less than that, phenomenal. But when I look at my budget over the year, it's almost always between 23 and 26% of my yearly income. And my yearly income can vary. So I just have to adjust all the other parts of my account.
So that's how we start creating the budget, right?
Right.
Listing all of these expenses, wants, and savings.
And you can use the budget that's linked here, or you can go to Excel or Quicken and get a budget and not pay. There are budgets that are paid for that really, to my mind, makes no sense to pay for a budget because they're available for free, both here in Excel and Quicken and other places. And all it is a list of your income and your expenses, and you divide it out any way you want. And we recommend the 50-20-30 budget if you can save or invest 20%.
Amazing.
Interesting point of fact. I work on a budget.
I've never had to work on a budget. I have to.
That's the truth. He doesn't.
You don't have a budget?
He doesn't spend money. He's really good about
I
not
don't spend
spending
money?
money.
What does that
I
mean,
mean,
I don't
he
spend
doesn't overspend. It's
don't
not like he has.
overspend.
But how do
But
you
it's
keep
so
the
funny
control?
because he's giving us all advice about budgeting. He's never had a budget. So now, because he's retired, and we're readjusting things based on his new level, I keep talking about budgeting, and he just looks at me like, so.
No, but
Just
I
a
know-
little heads up.
I know that you've always budgeted, and
I've
most people
always
have
been
to
very,
budget.
very strict on budgeting.
And I was always so lucky, and it's luck, it really is, that I had enough money to pay for everything I needed and to invest and to have money left.
I'm considering
Shooting me?
stepping you down from your role and putting Michael.
For this episode,
Yes,
I'm a budgeter.
He has ever since I've met him, he has budgeted
Because it's
strictly.
probably something that you've been doing your entire life that it just got.
Well, when I was young, I made enough money to live on. But somebody asked me how much money I earned. I had no idea. All I know was my bills were paid. And it wasn't until I started keeping track of all the money that I was bringing in and all the money I was spending. And this is like in the 80s. There was no such thing as a computer or a cell phone, or we had calculators back then. But I had a paper budget book, and I had to write in all the different categories and how much each day, and I had to do all my math. My OCD gets in the way there. But when I switched over to a computer, oh my God, I was in heaven, because then I could like run formulas and I could check and see how much money will I have if I say. But budgeting is very soothing to me, as long as I have
It
money.
calms you down.
There was a period
therapy.
when I opened my business where I was like a deer in the headlights. I could not, the stress and anxiety were so great, I couldn't even look at numbers. I could not, because I knew I was not bringing in enough money to live on, but I had planned on it. I had known that there was going to be that possibility, and worst comes to worst, I could have somebody help me. But for about a year and a half, I did not keep budget numbers. And it was like flying without a parachute. I was so scared. And when I finally got myself back on, it was like, okay. And it was, now I know where I am financially.
One more reason why.
It is a very good feeling when you know where you're at.
Yeah, it is. It is. I am practicing budgeting, guys. I started when I started this whole project. I am going to mention how I changed my budget in a period of time when I was saving for surgery. I added, I took 10% of my wants and I put it in paying bill.
10% of your wants.
So
okay.
I had 20% for wants and 60% to pay the, because I needed to pay them in advance because I wasn't going to be
and
working.
that was
Very
a need
wise.
for you. That was a need. It's not something you felt like doing. That was
No,
an
yeah,
absolute
that was-
need that
that
you
was a
had
need.
to do, and therefore it became a need in your budget for
Yeah.
sure.
Because I needed to, long story short, I got a surgery and I wasn't going to be working and I was only going to get paid 2 weeks. And then for the rest of my recovery, I should have my bills paid and some money left.
Yeah, and so that is an absolute need.
The question that I have for you guys is the miscellaneous part of budget, because every budget has a miscellaneous part. And I never in my entire life put that there, because I always, even in high school when I took financial literacy, I was like, miscellaneous. Like, it looked like it didn't matter. But now I can see the importance of miscellaneous. It's just hard for me to allocate money.
Well,
Because you think it's not going to happen.
You shouldn't call it miscellaneous. I've never had.
For example, it's rainy one day, very bad, and I will have to take an Uber. That should be coming out of my miscellaneous account.
Well, again, it depends on how many categories you create in your budget. I have a lot of categories. And then every once in a while, something will come up and it'll be like, is that entertainment? Is that travel? Is that, and I try to,
But you
and
go
because I
beyond.
can't do
You
it.
go like all of them.
Oh yeah. So I mean, I have like 20 different choices, and there are certain things like this is a one-time expense that really doesn't fit anything, so it's going to go into miscellaneous. And it's a very, very small portion of my budget. It's maybe 2% or less of my entire budget.
What would be
but
your miscellaneous?
I'm
Just
trying
so
to
I
think
can-
of something recently that was a miscellaneous. Miscellaneous could be like if you give money to a homeless person, or if you're in a situation where, you have to help a friend out do something and it doesn't really, it's not
You're
really,
on the streets and like you crazy thirsty and you bought a water.
Well, see, that's drinking. Now, I mean, that's food, or I have a category called takeout, restaurant meals, then
Oh
we
my
have
gosh.
grocery meals.
Supermarket
Oh my
meals.
God.
You're way up there.
Deliveries
Yeah.
is a separate
deliveries
category.
is a separate category.
I
Four
have-
different food categories.
Expenses.
That's your category.
No, as I write it, savings, wants, expenses. Period.
My travel is in 4 different categories. I have hotels, I have flights, I have miscellaneous travel, and then I have one which is cruises, which is my, you have your thing that you would spend all your money on if you had it. For me, it'd be going on vacation and cruises. More so than flights. I love cruises.
I'm so scared of them. You're in the middle of the ocean. I could never. but but wait, just out of curiosity, I don't want to take so much time out of this. You have a travel category and then
Subcategories.
Subcategory.
subcategory. Okay.
Right.
It's not
Yeah.
like one category for travel.
Right.
Okay.
Well, like my clothing budget is set up as clothing, and then shoes is a subcategory of clothing. And then
okay.
my food category is broken up into restaurants and takeouts. And then
Can you bring an example one day?
good, but you look me crazy. Our household budget is like 6 different categories in household because we contribute the same amount every week to our
And
household
what
budget.
would be these categories?
Well, we have groceries. We have someone who cleans for us. We have like decorating, like we're getting a new couch. What else do we have? Repairs, like if you have an electrician come and do stuff, so that's repairs.
No, I need all. You don't have to give me the numbers, but I need all of the categories and how you do it because I'm gonna try.
You have
I'm
to
gonna
get into
imitate
it.
you.
I have to have like a loose leaf notebook for
Oh.
his
How
budget.
do you do
Pages.
it? Online?
I use a program called Quicken,
You
which
pay?
is I do pay for it. I used to have a desktop version of it, and I only paid once to use it, and then for the upgrades, now I pay it. I think yearly, not 100%.
Okay, so
sure.
Quicken could be another source of.
Quicken is a good basic starting for a home budget.
Alrighty.
Well, we are close to our time, so let me just add that you should always leave room for some flexibility in your budget. It's not like written in stone, but by the same token, don't go overboard and be so flexible that you run out of money.
Don't be a rainbows. Just go from
For the
rainbows to riches.
Oh, I see where.
And the last thing is check your budget like Michael does at least once a day because you never know. You're certainly going to spend some money every day. That money has to go into your budget to be accounted for. And if you wait a week, you might not remember it. If I told you how many times I heard, "Where did I spend $32?"
I'm missing 20, and I'll be running around the house
and he
and all of a
won't
sudden
go to sleep until he finds where he
Today
spent
was
it.
one of those things.
We might have to have an appendix for this episode or part
at least
two
for
I
the
had my
budget.
appendix out.
because I will want to. I actually want to see this.
Oh, you should absolutely.
Yeah, if you can.
No, I mean,
you can hide the
I
numbers.
know it's crazy, and I don't mind it being crazy. But I mean, there are times where I get up in the middle of the night and I sneak downstairs and I start going over numbers. It reassures me because I get anxiety. I mean, my life has not gone smoothly, and I've had a lot of really rough times, and I've been bankrupt, and I've been living on the streets for a period of time. So now that I have security, there are times where my mind doesn't believe it, and I have to go back into reassuring
Interesting.
myself.
Interesting
You know,
for a topic. Interesting. I was going to say that I don't think it's crazy. I think it's organized. Like I think it's very organizing. I find it beautiful, like something that you look up to.
There's another part of it that's even crazier.
What is it?
I have my money in many accounts. Not bank accounts, but I have cash wallet. I have leftover cash. We have household cash. I have salon cash. Then, of course, I have my checking account, my savings account, my business checking account, my safety deposit account. I have like 12 different places that money can be.
I have $20 extra.
I
Where
don't
did this
think-
$20
Is this
come
supposed to
from?
be?
I don't think that's
It's
crazy. I just think-
but it's fun. I mean, I know it's crazy, so it's fun.
I think
sound
it's an
like
example.
fun.
I think it's an example of somebody who runs as a company. I've worked for big companies like Sephora, and I know how what's the word that I can use that YouTube allows me to? They're so
Organized.
yeah.
Anal?
I was gonna say that. They're so
say
anal,
anal.
about all of their. It's like, but because I'm working for them, I have to follow it. But if I'm doing it for me, I'm often not going to follow it. So I think that that's beautiful the way that you developed a system that big
It's-
companies do because you function as
Yeah.
a big.
It's
as
a
big
little
company.
insane. It's a little insane. I know.
You know, no, I think it's organizing. You know, where I might not get there, or I don't know, in the future, I might have somebody to help me with it. because my ADHD to track all of these
The,
things.
the important thing is I had good financial knowledge for many years, and then I went through a period where I made some really bad choices and came out of it just before I met Drew. So I was on the right path, but he has given me more information and more guidance, so I moved further along and faster because I now have the big picture, and retirement and things like that are part of the equation.
And obviously, when Drew came into your life, it helped you as well.
On so many levels. I mean, I can make a joke about it, but it's not just
See,
that.
guys,
It's financial
see?
is part of it, but it was not. And I want to make it really clear that it's not because of his money that I have money. That was very
Absolutely
clear
not.
from the beginning.
Absolutely.
I never wanted to be supported, and he never wanted someone who was financially dependent on him. But as he said in the beginning, he would feel more comfortable when I had as much money as he did. And I'm like, I'm there. Give me the tools,
Yes.
I will be there.
So Michael is the proof that hanging out with Drew works.
Absolutely.
I am the next person.
Next in line.
Next in line. I am working on it. And research says that you end up becoming like the 5 people that you hang out with the most. And thanks to the internet, we can hang out almost in real time, guys. You can have Drew's energy, Michael's energy, my energy, and Rainbows to Riches energy, So make sure to stay up to date with all of our episodes. Make sure to take notes while you're watching it. We might have quizzes coming up. And, it's good to train the brain to developing that muscle memory, the muscle memory of the habit of being financially responsible. So make sure to share with a friend.
And do remember that this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only.
Educational and entertainment.
Oh, and entertainment, what did I say?
I don't know.
You said informational and educational. It's the same thing.
Oh, that's true.
And we're very much into the entertainment.
That we are. And if you have any questions, we'd love to hear from you. We could possibly make a podcast out of it and credit you for the question or respond to you individually.
Make sure to like,
Comment.
And subscribe.
share with a friend if you can. It will help us build a community faster. And we'll definitely see you in our next episode.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Period.